Uvažene koleginice i kolege, draga i uvažena predsjednice WPL-a gospođo Silvana Koh-Mehrin, dragi gosti, drage gošće. Koristim priliku da vas pozdravim u ime Skupštine Crne Gore, institucije koja je postala primjer transparentnosti, otvorenosti u regionu sa procentom ispunjenosti kriterijuma otvorenosti od 87,7%, postavljajući standarde koji u tom smislu nadmašuju mnoge parlamente Evropske unije. Naša posvećenost inovacijama, napretku i digitalizaciji dovela nas je do izuzetnih rezultata, čime smo postali uzor u savremenoj politici. Kroz niz različitih projekata, poput pokretanja parlamentarnog kanala za emitovanje sjednica i važnih sadržaja, omogućili smo građanima neposredan uvid u naš rad. Mobilna radna oprema omogućila je prenos sjednica iz svih dijelova Crne Gore, dok nova internet prezentacija Skupštine sa setovima otvorenih podataka postavlja nas kao lider u objavljivanju informacija u otvorenom formatu. Naša posvećenost građanima je izuzetna. Aktiviranjem portala e-peticije omogućili smo im da aktivno učestvuju u političkim procesima, dok je servis pristupačnost prilagodio našu internet stranicu osobama sa invaliditetom. Širenjem inkluzivnosti organizovali smo simulaciju rada parlamenta za srednjoškolce i studente, te skupštine građana, aktivnosti koje su uključile širu javnost u procesu kreiranja politika i donošenju odluka. Uzimajući u obzir različitost koju kao svoju prednost pružili smo posebnu priliku romskoj zajednici kroz prvo zasjedanje romskog parlamenta. Takođe, organizovanje konferencije predstavnika budžetskih jedinica pomaže u unapređenju transparentnosti potrošnje budžetskih sredstava, dok digitalizacija skupštinskih sala i salona teži ka potpunom izbacivanju papira iz upotrebe. Kao veoma značajnu činjenicu želim da istaknem formiranje drugog saziva ženskog kluba Skupštine, koji djeluje i predlaže brojna zakonska rešenja, a radi na principu kopredsedavanja, gdje su jedino zastupljene predstavnice kako parlamentarne većine, tako i parlamentarne opozicije. Dodatno, u julu ove godine usvojene su značajne izmjene koje potvrđuju Crnu Goru kao lidera u unapređenju prava žena i rodne ravnopravnosti. Skupština je usvojila zakonska rešenja kojima se kvota za žene na izbornim listama povećava sa dosadašnjih 30 na 40%. U okviru tih izmjena uvedena je i obaveza da među svaka 3 kandidata na izbornoj listi bude najmanje jedna žena, kao i sankcije za nepoštovanje ovih odredbi. Ovaj korak nije samo administrativna mjera, on je potvrda naše predanosti principima rodne ravnopravnosti, demokratske uključenosti i poštovanja ljudskih prava. U saradnji sa relevantnim ministarstvima, skupštinskim odborima, civilnim društvom i međunarodnim partnerima, Crna Gora kreira zakonski okvir koji omogućava ženama da ne budu samo statistika, nego aktivne učesnice u donošenju odluka. Posebno želim istaći podršku koju je ova inicijativa dobila od institucija poput Ministarstva ljudskih i manjinskih prava, koje je izrazilo punu podršku uvođenju kvote od najmanje 40% za manje zastupljeni pol na izbornim listama. Premijer je takođe javno podržao taj predlog, ističući da je važan dio izborne reforme. U sve ovo ne zaboravljamo da je naša misija usmjerena ka izgradnji inkluzivnog društva, jer vjerujemo da samo tako gradimo sigurnu budućnost za sve nas. Možda sam malo odužila, hvala na pažnji. Sada prelazimo na izjave nacionalnih delegacija. Prvo pozivam nacionalnu delegaciju iz Crne Gore i predstavnicu gospođu Jelenku Andrić. Izvolite, koleginice.
Zahvaljujem potpredsjednice, poštovana predsjednice WPL-a, drage liderke i lideri, uvažene gošće i gosti, dobrodošli u Crnu Goru na jedan izuzetan događaj koji je organizovala Skupština Crne Gore. Izuzetna mi je čast da vas danas pozdravim, da vam se obratim kao poslanica Skupštine Crne Gore, ali i u kapacitetu predsjednice Odbora za rodnu ravnopravnost. Naš odbor ima ključnu ulogu u praćenju i unapređenju prava žena i rodne ravnopravnosti u našoj zemlji. Nadležni smo za zakon o rodnoj ravnopravnosti čiju implementaciju pažljivo pratimo, uključujući i mjere za sprječavanje bilo kakvih zloupotreba. Trenutno nadležno ministarstvo radi na novom zakonu o rodnoj ravnopravnosti, čije usvajanje očekujemo početkom 2026. godine. Tokom našeg rada odbor je organizovao brojne konsultativne sjednice na temu rodno odgovornog budžetiranja, prevencije nasilja nad ženama i poboljšanja položaja žena u društvu. Na jednoj od tih sjednica najavljena je izmjena krivičnog zakonika Crne Gore u vezi sa uvođenjem krivičnog dijela femicida, što je i podržano od strane Ministarstva pravde. Posebno želim da istaknem sjednicu Odbora za rodnu ravnopravnost održano u julu ove godine u istoj ovoj sali, kada smo ponovo ovoga puta uspješno pokrenuli inicijativu da se kvote za žene na izbornim listama poveća sa 30 na 40% i predložili pravilo da među svaka 3 kandidata najmanje jedna bude žena. Važno je naglasiti da ova promjena nije rezultat jednokratne akcije. Ona je proizvod kontinuiranog rada političarki, aktivistkinja, NVO sektora i naših međunarodnih partnera, koji su ovu priču započeli prije 15 godina. Ovo je dokaz da istrajnost, posvećenost i zajednički rad mogu donijeti stvarne i mjerljive rezultate. Vremeno moramo biti iskreni o granicama napretka. Od 2006. do 2025. broj poslanica je porastao sa 9 na 23, koliko aktuelni saziv Skupštine broji, što je nešto manje od 30% sadašnjeg saziva. Međutim, na vrhu moći pomak je sporiji. Među 6 najviših funkcija u parlamentu samo je jedna žena i ona je upravo krivac za ovaj WPL Summit u Crnoj Gori. Od 15 odbora žene predsjedavaju tek 3. U stručnim službama gdje presuđuju znanje i procedura žena je mnogo više. Po odborima se vide stereotipi. Najzastupljenije smo u mekšim resorima, a premalo nas je tamo gdje se donose takozvane tvrde odluke, bezbjednost, financije, politički sistem. Ukratko, žene jesu tamo gdje su kvalifikacije nesporne, ali nas i dalje nema tamo gdje je moć. Veće učešće žena mijenja ton institucija, prioritete i ishode javnih politika, ruši ukorijenjene obrasce. Ona rađa, a on brani i otvara prostor ravnopravnijim normama. Naravno, to izaziva otpore. Češće se preispituju znanje i kompetencije žena, a ponekad su izložene, rekla bih, prečesto nasilju, posebno u sektorima tradicionalno rezervisanim za muškarce. Zato trebaju jasna pravila i institucionalna zaštita. Crna Gora je pokazala da napreduje, ali da bismo imali ravnopravnu demokratiju, moramo otvoriti vrata onim prostorima gdje se odlučuje. Zato nam je WPL prirodni saveznik, platforma koja daje glas, vidljivost i zajedničku snagu. Preuzmimo obavezu da ubrzamo ritam rezultate u praksi, budžetima i strukturama moći. Hvala vam. Neka iskustva Crne Gore budu korisna inspiracija, a partnerstvo u okviru WPL-a akcelerator promjena koje će, sigurna sam, uslijediti. Zahvaljujem.
Zahvaljujem gospođi Jelenki Andrić, predstavnici Crne Gore. Sada pozivam predstavnicu Maroka, gospođu Ilham Eskari. Je li tu? Esaki. Izvinite, pogriješila sam prezime Esaki, je li tako?
Esaki.
Esaki.
زميلاتي زملائي البرلمانيات والبرلمانيون، السيدات والسادة الحضور الكريم، أود في مستهل كلمتي أن أعرب عن خالص الشكر والتقدير للجهود الحثيثة والمقدرة التي تبذلها منظمة نساء السياسيات البرلمانيات وكذا برلمان مونتينيغرو على حسن استضافته وتنظيمه المحكم لهذه القمة السنوية لسنة 2025 في البلد الصديقة مونتينيغرو. ويشرفني اليوم أن أتقاسم معكم باسم مجلس النواب للمملكة المغربية تجربة بلادنا فيما يخص الانخراط الفعال والمجهودات المبذولة في تحقيق المساواة بين الجنسين وتمكين المرأة في مختلف المجالات. السيدات والسادة الأفاضل، لقد حقق المغرب إنجازات مهمة في مجال تمكين المرأة وتعزيز مكانتها وتحقيق المساواة باعتبارها عناصر أساسية لتحقيق التنمية المستدامة، وذلك من خلال ترسيخ مبدئي المساواة وتكافؤ الفرص كقيم دستورية واكبها تبني مجموعة من القوانين والإصلاحات على رأسها السياسات العمومية المندمجة للمساواة، بالإضافة إلى عدد من الاستراتيجيات من أجل النهوض بحقوق المرأة. فدستور المملكة لسنة 2011 باعتباره القانون الأسمى للبلاد يحظر كل أشكال التمييز بسبب الجنس أو اللون أو المعتقد أو الثقافة أو الانتماء الاجتماعي أو الجهوي أو اللغة أو الإعاقة أو أي وضع شخصي مهما كان، كما أن مقتضياته تنص على مبدأ المساواة في الحقوق بين الجنسين بما فيها الحقوق المدنية والسياسية الاجتماعية والثقافية والبيئية وحق السلامة الجسدية والمعنوية، وكذا مبدأ المناصفة من خلال إحداث هيئة المناصفة ومكافحة كل أشكال التمييز، حيث تم اعتماد قانون متعلق بهذه الهيئة سنة 2017، كما اعتمد المغرب سنة 2015 مشروع قانون الموافقة على البروتوكول الاختياري الملحق لاتفاقية القضاء على جميع أشكال التمييز ضد المرأة سيداو. ولقد شكلت المدونة منعطفا حقيقيا في تاريخ تعزيز حقوق المرأة والطفل، حيث تم تغيير بنود قانون الأحوال الشخصية لصالح المرأة والطفل، خاصة فيما يتعلق بحقها في الزواج والطلاق والولاية والحضانة. السيدات والسادة، سعيا منه نحو تجسيد مبدأ المناصفة التي نص عليها دستور المملكة، يواصل المشرع المغربي تعزيز حضور المرأة في الهيئات المنتخبة، وذلك من خلال سن مقتضيات في القوانين التنظيمية المؤطرة للمنظومة الانتخابية الكفيلة بضمان ولوج المرأة إلى الوظيفة الانتخابية البرلمانية وتحسين وضعيتها في القوائم الانتخابية، مما يساهم في إدماج أكبر للمرأة في صنع القرار. حضرات السيدات والسادة، لقد سجلت تمثيلية النساء في مجلس النواب تطورا خلال الولاية التشريعية الحالية، إذ بلغت 24.3% مقابل 20.51% خلال الولاية التشريعية السابقة 2021-2016. أما بالنسبة لولوج النساء إلى الوظائف العليا فقد عرفت هذه النسبة ارتفاعا ملحوظا في عدد النساء اللاتي يشغلن مناصب قيادية في مختلف القطاعات الحكومية والهياكل التنظيمية بالمغرب، فقد ارتفعت نسبة تأنيث هذه المناصب لتصل إلى 53% سنة 2024 مقابل نسبة 40% سنة 2019. حضرات السيدات والسادة، لطالما كانت المملكة المغربية منخرطة بشكل فعال في تنزيل التزاماتها الدولية التي تتماشى مع استراتيجيتها الوطنية، ويظل تحقيق المساواة بين الجنسين حاضرا في صياغة كل القوانين وبناء كل البرامج الوطنية من أجل تمكين المرأة من نفس الحقوق ومن نفس الواجبات التي يتمتع بها الرجل في مختلف الميادين. لكن من منظور عام لا يمكن الإنكار أن اختلاف الواقع المجتمعي والتفكير الجماعي لكل شعب يظل تحديا قائما أمام تنزيل هذه الرؤى في مختلف بلدان العالم، مما يحتم علينا تقاسم الخبرات والتواصل المستمر بين حكومات وبرلمانات العالم من أجل فاعلية أفضل في تحقيق أهداف التنمية المستدامة. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Thank you.
Zahvaljujem predstavnici Maroka, uvaženoj gospođi Ilhani Esaki. Sada pozivam predstavnicu Omana, gospođu Suad Mubarak Said Alfori. Izvolite. Može.
الله الرحمن الرحيم. أصحاب الفخامة، أصحاب المعالي والسعادة، المكرمون، أعضاء المجالس البرلمانية، الحضور الكرام، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يشرفنا أن نشارككم في هذا اللقاء الذي يجسد ما تحظى به قضايا المرأة من اهتمام عالمي، ويؤكد دورها المحوري في تحمل المسؤولية والإسهام في مناقشة القضايا الراهنة. لقد أولت سلطنة عمان بقيادة صاحب الجلالة السلطان هيثم بن طارق المعظم حفظه الله عناية خاصة بتمكين المرأة، فتبوأت مواقع قيادية في مختلف القطاعات، وتشغل اليوم 18% من عضوية مجلس الدولة، الأمر الذي يؤكد كفاءة المرأة العمانية في صنع القرار الوطني. كما رسخت سلطنة عمان أسس الثقة بين القيادة والمجتمع، ما انعكس في الاستقرار والتنمية عبر التنويع الاقتصادي والتحول الرقمي والاستثمار في الشباب ضمن رؤية عمان 2040. إضافة إلى ذلك المبادرات الوطنية وأبرزها صوت مجلس الشورى ومعا نتقدم وتجاوب، كل ذلك بمشاركة فاعلة من المرأة العمانية جنبا إلى جنب مع الرجل. الحضور الكرام، في هذه القمة للنساء القياديات نؤكد التزامنا بقضايا المرأة وحقوقها، فإننا نعبر عن تضامننا مع الشعوب التي تواجه أزمات مأساوية، وفي مقدمتها غزة واليمن أوكرانيا والسودان، انطلاقا من واجب إنساني مشترك لصون الكرامة وضمان حق الأمن والسلام. وفي الختام نتوجه بالشكر والتقدير لرئاسة القمة والمنظمين والمشاركين، متمنين للجميع التوفيق والسداد، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Zahvaljujem predstavnici Omana, gospođi Suad Mubarak Said Alfori. Sada pozivam predstavnicu Rumunije, gospođu Anu Sintiju i Ioanu Paun. Izvolite, gospođo.
Thank you. Madam Vice President, Madam Chair, and dear colleagues, on behalf of the Parliament of Romania, I would like to express our gratitude to the WPL and the Parliament of Montenegro for the warm welcome and the wonderful organization of our meeting. The main topic of our summit is of utmost importance in the current global context. Trust is a collective effort, earned through actions and transparency, and requires the active participation of all of us for the good of all of us. Dear colleagues, the presence of women in decision-making processes and in politics is crucial for the healthy and equitable functioning of a democratic society. Women bring unique perspectives to politics based on their life experiences. The needs of women are intertwined with the needs of their children, their families, and very often of the communities they live in. The representation of women in decision-making positions in Romania at the political level remains low. The way forward to improve the current situation requires efforts and commitment from all of us, women parliamentarians, regardless of our political affiliation. We have initiated and adopted a series of bills, such as the law on monitoring systems of aggressors with electronic bracelets, the law that increases the age at which minors can give sexual consent from 14 to 16 years, the law regarding postpartum depression that would have women who have recently given birth benefit from psychological counseling in state maternity hospitals, the law that expands free HPV vaccination to all girls and boys aged 11 to 26 by including it in the national vaccination program. A few weeks ago, the Parliament of Romania established the Joint Special Commission of the Chamber of Deputies and the Senate in the field of legislation on preventing, combating, and punishing domestic violence. Romania without domestic violence. As Vice Chairperson of this committee, let me say that our objectives are to analyze the legislation, endorse the initiatives under debate, and propose new measures to combat domestic violence and gender violence. At the same time, the National Agency for Equal Opportunities between Women and Men developed a national plan on the economic and political empowerment of women for the period 2025-2029, which sets out national strategic objectives such as generating effective policies for the labor market, ensuring work-life balance by identifying and strengthening the care economy system, increasing participation in decision-making in the economic and political sphere on an equal basis, and reducing domestic violence and gender-based violence in the workplace and in public spaces by improving legislation and raising awareness of all relevant actors. Dear colleagues, Romania will continue to promote a society based on the principle of equal opportunities between women and men, and to strengthen its institutional and political framework to ensure an environment in which gender discrimination is eradicated and economic, social, and political opportunities are accessible to all citizens. Thank you for your kind attention.
Zahvaljujem predstavnici Rumunije, uvaženoj gospođi Ani Sinti Ioani Paun. A sada pozivam predstavnicu Ukrajine, gospođu Irinu Geraščenko, jesam li dobro rekla? Jesam, izvolite.
Dear colleague, I am representative Ukrainian Parliament, and I am co-author our law to gender quota. Now we have in our Parliament 20% of women, and in our law 40% of women. And now we have a new Prime Minister, a woman. But for all Ukrainian people and for my country, important, first and very, very big problem, it's war. Ukraine today stands at the epicenter of the most brutal war since World War. Russia began this war 12.5 years ago with the annexation of Crimea, and due to the absence of punishment, it dared to launch a full-scale invasion in February 2022. Just this September, Russia attacked Ukraine with 5,600 drones and 300 missiles. Every day, Russia attacks my country, my city, and all Ukrainian citizens. Russia has abducted and illegally deported of at least 20,000 Ukrainian children. We are grateful to all those who have joined the initiative to bring this back, and we urge everyone to do everything possible to achieve this goal. Every day the war takes the life of both soldiers and civilians. And now Russia kills entire families, and it's committing genocide against the Ukrainian people. Now 72,000 women serve in the armed forces, more than 6,000 of them directly on front line. Unfortunately, 110 women now have been killed. More than 400 women are in captivity. The whole world was shocked by the tragedy of journalist and human rights defender Victoria Roshina, who was tortured to prison in Russian captivity. Her body was stab wound, a broken rib, and signs of weighed only about 30 kilograms. Russia refused to return her body for more than 6 months. Now we have new figures. The UN has documented over 450 cases of sexual violences committed by Russian troops in occupied territories. The youngest victims was just 4 years old, the older 83. There are war crimes with no status of limitation. Russian aggression has triggered a demographic catastrophe in my country. Ukraine's population has dropped now to 35 million. The birth rate is only 6 per 1,000, is the lowest in the war. And it's a very big problem for my country. I think demographic crisis is principal problem after martial law, and hundreds of thousands of families have been torn apart by the war. To preserve the chance of life even after losing loved honor, we created a biological data bank for servicemen. It's now we adopted this law. Russian bombs and mines have hit 30% of Ukrainian farmland. And yet, despite everything, our farmers continue to supply grain to the war, including the African countries. Ukraine seeks peace, but for us, peace does not mean a pause in the war or consenting to the aggressor. Peace means preserving our sovereignty and territorial integrity, maintain a strong army and real security guarantees, imposing sanctions and ensuring international accountability for Russia. It means to return of our children refugees and the rebuilding of family, schools and hospitals. This is a just peace, not peace at any price. We thank all countries for the support and sovereignty. Thank you very much.
Zahvaljujem predstavnici Ukrajine, uvaženoj gospođi Irini Geraščenko. Sada pozivam predstavnicu Irske, gospođu Katarinu Ardag. Izvolite.
Colleagues, it's an honor to join you here in Montenegro for the Women in Politics Summit. On behalf of the Irish delegation, I want to thank our hosts for their very warm hospitality. I'm proud to be here alongside my colleague, Deputy Carol Nolan, as we join parliamentarians from across the world to discuss the role of women in shaping a positive future. Montenegro is a country of beauty and resilience, and it's an absolute privilege to be here. The theme of this conference, positive future, building trust and driving progress, could not be more relevant. Across the world, people are looking to politics not just for policies, but for trust, integrity and hope. Women leaders have a vital role to play in delivering that. In Ireland, as other countries outlined, we have made important strides. In 2012, we introduced the gender quota legislation, requiring political parties to put forward at least 30% female candidates, and that threshold will increase to 40% at our next election. This has increased representation. Today, women hold just 25% of seats in our parliament, and nearly 27% of our ministers are women. It's progress, but we know it's not yet equality. We're also stepping up our response to domestic and gender-based violence, which is obviously a common thread across our nations. Our Domestic Violence Act 2018 strengthened protections for victims and for the first time made coercive control a crime. Alongside this, our Sexual Offences Act modernised laws on consent and protection, and these legal changes are backed by Ireland's third national strategy on domestic and sexual and gender-based violence, which is expanding refuges, funding frontline services and driving a coordinated national response. As we gather here in peace and friendship today, we cannot forget those suffering in war-torn regions in the Ukraine, Palestine, Sudan, Yemen, Afghanistan, and in so many places where violence and displacement are daily realities. Their suffering reminds us of how fortunate we are, but also why it matters that more women are at the decision-making table. Women's voices are essential in peace building, in protecting communities, and in shaping a more just and compassionate world. Together, Deputy Carol Nolan and I are here to share Ireland's story, to listen and to learn from colleagues worldwide. Our shared commitment is to build a politics that is open, inclusive, and truly representative of all our people. This summit is a reminder of the importance of working together across borders, across cultures, and across traditions to support one another, share experiences, and encourage more women to enter public life. And let us continue to inspire each other to lead and to ensure that our voices and the voices of women at every single level of political life are heard. Gur Mahagat. Thank you.
Zahvaljujem predstavnici Irske, gospođi Katarini Ardag. A sada, obzirom da imamo dvije delegacije iz Pakistana, jedna iz Nacionalne skupštine i jedna iz Senata, pozivam sada predstavnicu Nacionalne skupštine Pakistana, gospođu Šaistu Pervaiz Malik. Ako sam dobro pročitala, ja? Izvolite.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Distinguished Chair, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon. I am honored to represent the Parliament of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan at this distinguished gathering of women leaders and extend my sincere appreciation to our hosts for convening this important summit under the theme Future Positive, Building Trust, Driving Progress. Excellencies, women constitute nearly half of Pakistan's population and have been recognized as a vital force in our journey towards a better future. Since its very inception, Pakistan has adhered to the guiding principle set by our founding father, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who said, and I quote, "No nation can be worthy of its existence that cannot take its women along with the men." It is thus with a sense of great nostalgia and pride I recall the great legacy of strong and empowered women leaders of Pakistan. In 1949, the nascent state of Pakistan was represented by its first women member of the Constituent Assembly, Begum Shaista Ikramullah, to ink the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Pakistan gave the first youngest women Prime Minister and the youngest Nobel laureate girl child. Its women have served as senior ministers, governors of the provinces, generals in the armed forces, judges in the superior courts, highest officials of the bureaucracy, academia, and heads of leading multinational corporate sector. In fact, at present, the most populous province of Pakistan, the Punjab, has a women chief minister, Maryam Nawaz Sharif, whose dynamic leadership is transforming the lives of millions of people of her province. You see her visuals come out as she fights to rescue and rehabilitate masses affected by unprecedented floods in Pakistan. It goes without saying that the services of these women leaders have been phenomenal in redefining the socio-economic sectors of Pakistan. However, ensuring women's voice to be heard and included meaningfully at the decision-making table is a constant struggle. As women leaders, this is our prime responsibility to keep clearing the path for our less fortunate sisters. It was thus that in across parties, Women Parliamentary Caucus was created in the Parliament of Pakistan, which has been instrumental in enacting over 36 laws concerning the socio-economic uplift of women, children, and other marginalized communities of Pakistan. A highly empowered parliamentary committee on gender mainstreaming was constituted last year under the recommendations of the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Shehbaz Sharif, to ensure inclusion of qualified women in all walks of life. There is nevertheless no denial to the fact that a strong networking of women leaders of the world can ensure a strong support group. We must learn from each other's best practices and help one another to make the world a better place to live. In this regard, I would especially like to draw your attention to the continued agony of women and children of Gaza and Kashmir. The global politics must not make hostage and use women and children as fodder to fuel these conflicts. Thank you. There is an ancient Chinese saying, women hold half of the sky. It is time to take the ownership and equal share of the sky of the human progress. We look forward in engaging with fellow leaders across the world. I thank you all. Thank you very much. Pakistan Zindabad.
Zahvaljujem se predsjednici Nacionalne skupštine Pakistana, gospođi Šaisti Pervaiz Malik. A sada ću predsjedavanje prepustiti uvaženoj mojoj koleginici, gospođi Obigeli Ketrin Ezekvešilijer, jesam li dobro rekla? Jesam. Predsjednici odbora WPL-a. Izvolite, pređite
Can we please acknowledge Zedeka before she leaves? So thank you very much. What a pleasure to be in the Parliament of Montenegro. It is only this kind of global convenings that make it possible for an African woman from Nigeria to be sitting on the seat of the president of the Parliament of Montenegro. This is what happens when women move an agenda. All right, so thank you very much. We have so far heard from a number of sisters from across various countries, and as you can see clearly, there's progress being made. It may not be as rapid as we want, but there's hardly anyone that spoke that did not talk about some policy or some legislation. And so we want to continue to hear that. And I will be calling on our dear sister, Hurat Ul-Ain Marie, who is from Pakistan, at the Senate.
Thank you very much, and thank you for pronouncing my name just right. It's not an easy one. Honorable Chair, distinguished colleagues, and fellow women leaders, it is a privilege to speak today on behalf of Pakistan at this important summit dedicated to the theme Future Positive, Building Trust, Driving Progress. I must commend WPL and thank the Parliament of Montenegro for organizing such a timely summit. In Pakistan, building trust and driving progress has always been deeply intertwined with the struggle for democracy, equality, and justice. For us, trust is not merely a political aspiration. It is the foundation of our society's resilience in the face of challenges, from natural disasters to democratic transitions. And progress cannot be imagined without inclusion, especially of women, who make up half of our population and carry the aspirations of future generations. When we speak of trust and progress in Pakistan, we cannot help but recall the towering figure of Benazir Bhutto, the first Muslim woman to be elected Prime Minister in the Islamic world 38 years ago. Her leadership symbolized not only the breaking of barriers for women, but also the building of trust between the people and their democratic institutions. She reminded us that democracy is strengthened when women lead with courage, with compassion, and with vision. Today, women parliamentarians in Pakistan continue to advance her legacy. From legislating for child protection, women's education and health, to advocating for climate resilience and digital inclusion, women leaders are reinforcing public trust in institutions by ensuring that the voices of the most vulnerable are heard. We know that progress cannot be driven by economic statistics alone. It is measured by how safe, empowered, and represented our citizens, especially women and children, feel in their daily lives. To this end, in addition to various other pro-women legislation, we initiated the world's largest social safety net, the Benazir Income Support Program, aimed at women heads of households. In our national context, building trust means bridging divides between rural and urban, men and women, citizens and government. Driving progress means placing people at the heart of policy, providing equitable healthcare, securing quality education, creating opportunities where none existed before. Women political leaders play a transformative role in making this possible, because our leadership is rooted in empathy and in the determination to leave no one behind. As Pakistan moves forward, we do so with the unwavering commitment of women parliamentarians across the political spectrum. Together, we are determined to continue building trust in democracy and driving progress for a more inclusive, just, and hopeful future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. Thank you indeed. And we continue to look to that progress in Pakistan. I'd like to call, we're moving on to West Africa now, where I hail from, and next door neighbor, Togo, from the National Assembly, Jermaine Kumelo Anate. Do we have her? Oh, she just walked in. In Africa, we would say she would live long, because we called her name and she appeared. You're supposed to take the floor to present. I will allow you settle so that we can gain time, and I would now go to Southern Africa, to our dear sister from the House of Representatives, Sisi Gezi, you will be presenting.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, Madam Vice President, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Zimbabwe's journey towards renewal and prosperity, building trust and driving progress, represents more than mere rhetoric. It embodies our commitment to transparent governance, inclusive development, and the restoration of confidence in our democratic institutions. Building trust means delivering on our promises to the people. It means ensuring that every decision we make serves the national interest, that public resources are used responsibly, and that we govern with integrity and accountability. Driving progress requires us to harness all Zimbabwe's potential, our natural resources, our educated population, and crucially, the leadership. In our national context, progress means economic recovery, creating jobs, improving health care and education, and restoring Zimbabwe's standing in the global community. Women political leaders are vital to this vision. They bring unique perspectives, collaborative approaches, and a keen understanding on community needs. The Zimbabwe Women's Parliamentary Caucus exemplifies this leadership, working beyond party lines to advocate for gender-responsive legislation, promote women's economic empowerment, and ensure development policies address the needs of all Zimbabweans, especially the most vulnerable. Your Excellencies, our First Lady, through the Angel for Hope Foundation, demonstrates how women leaders can bring out tangible progress. The foundation's work in healthcare, education, and community development illustrates how trust is built through consistent action and genuine care for our people's welfare. Furthermore, Zimbabwe's commitment to gender equality is evidenced through our participation in the He for She initiative. Through He for She, we engage men in leadership roles, traditional leaders, and young men across our communities to actively support women's rights and gender equality. The initiative encourages male involvement in ending gender-based violence, supporting women's economic participation, and challenging harmful stereotypes that might limit both women and men. As we move forward, let us remember that building trust and driving progress demands efforts from all of us, men and women, working together. But women's leadership is not just beneficial, it is vital for the future of our nations. I thank you.
We thank you. We thank you very much. Jamin, are you ready? Please take the floor. By the way, sorry, Jamin, we want to acknowledge the President of the Senate of Zimbabwe, who yielded for her younger version to take the floor. That's impressive, intergenerational relationship. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Madame la Présidente, honorables collègues, Mesdames et Messieurs. Je voudrais tout d'abord remercier les organisateurs pour l'invitation à ce grand sommet et pour cette opportunité de réflexion qui nous est offerte pour questionner notre rôle en tant que leader, femmes leaders, mais aussi voir quels espaces nous devons créer ou élargir pour renforcer la confiance des jeunes, des femmes et de tous les acteurs qui doivent construire notre avenir commun. Mesdames et Messieurs, la confiance reste un pilier fondamental du développement durable et de la stabilité politique. Sans elle, la démocratie perd de sa vitalité. L'économie s'affaiblit et l'engagement citoyen n'est pas au rendez-vous. C'est pourquoi il faut la construire et la sauvegarder par des actions fortes ou des réponses concrètes aux attentes des populations. Dans mon pays, le Togo, des progrès continus sont observés dans la lutte contre la pauvreté, dans l'effort de réduction du chômage par la création d'emplois, pour l'autonomisation des femmes, la promotion du leadership des femmes,
leur représentativité aux postes politiques et de décision. Distinguées participantes, au-delà des statistiques qu'on pourrait donner sur les différentes avancées, la véritable transformation réside dans la confiance que nous construisons à travers différentes initiatives et programmes permettant de renforcer la confiance des jeunes en eux-mêmes, renforcer la confiance des femmes et des communautés qui constatent l'impact positif de la gouvernance inclusive. Renforcer la confiance hommes et femmes pour sortir définitivement des relations de confrontation et co-construire ensemble des sociétés plus équilibrées et plus justes. À cet effet, au Togo, comme dans beaucoup de pays du monde, j'estime que nous devons aller encore plus loin dans le renforcement du cadre législatif pour une plus grande justice sociale, accroître l'autonomisation des femmes en valorisant, entre autres, le travail invisible, non rémunéré, réalisé dans la majorité des cas par les femmes et les jeunes filles. Je veux parler du travail domestique, économie de soins, etc. Investir dans l'innovation et mettre en œuvre des mesures fortes afin de libérer tout le potentiel des jeunes et des femmes et capitaliser la dividende démographique. Chacun de nous, mesdames et messieurs, est l'architecte des changements que nous voulons. Notre diversité est notre force et notre leadership collectif est la clé d'un avenir positif. Amenons donc les jeunes et les femmes à rêver grand, à devenir acteurs de leur propre épanouissement et bâtisseurs d'un monde meilleur. Je vous remercie.
Merci beaucoup. We will go quickly to Thailand, and we'll be inviting Katia Sawat-Difol to take the floor.
Madam Chairperson, distinguished colleagues, we come together here not only as a parliamentarian, but also as a pioneer of change, and trust with shaping a future that is both positive and inclusive. As women leaders, we carry the profound responsibility to rebuild trust. Trust in leadership, in institutions, and most importantly, trust in one another. Trust is the lifeblood of democracy. Without it, institutions cannot endure, and citizens cannot feel the ownership of the collective future. However, throughout the history, women have often been denied trust, denied the chance to lead, to speak, and to take part in shaping change. Building trust in women's voice and capacity is not only about fairness, it is about strengthening the democracy itself. A society that trusts women to lead is a society that unlocks its full potential for progress. Trust begins with visibility and credibility. When women are truly seen, heard, and recognized, public confidence follows. But trust must be measured with progress, and progress means law and policy that are inclusive, representation that is equitable, and genuinely empower women. In Thailand, we are advancing this vision from legal reforms that protect against gender-based and economic violence to gender-responsive policies such as Women Empowerment Fund and free HPV vaccination. We are ensuring that women's voice and life are valued in every sphere. But the journey is not only illegal, it is also cultural and institutional. We must dismantle barriers, transform norms, and exercise unwavering will to place gender equality at the heart of democracy. For without gender equality, democracy is incomplete and its promise remains unfulfilled. Colleagues, I stand ready to learn from your experience and successes and to exchange the idea, for I believe that the progress comes from listening to and learning from one another. I am committed to working alongside of you to build a society that places trust in women, not only as a leader or decision maker, but as a citizen and everyday change maker
whose voice and action can shape our collective future. For when our women are trusted and empowered, we unlock the strength and creativity that our democracy needs to move forward. Let us build that future together, when trust in women becomes a source of the unity, and where progress means leaving no women potential behind. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you, Katia. When we look at people like you, we know that the younger generation of women will definitely make it happen. Thank you once again. So we now go on to Greece. They were the hosts of the summit last year, and we want to use this opportunity to thank you again for having hosted us so well. You made it possible for Montenegro to quickly say, we also will host you. So thank you for that. So for Greece, we've got our dear friend, Konstantina Karampasoli. Over to you.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, it's a great honor for me to stand here with you at the Montenegro Parliament and address the Women Political Leaders Summit on behalf of Greece. It is always a privilege to represent my country in an organization that believes in the transformative power of women leaders in shaping more resilient and fair societies. Greece's national agenda is guided by the principle of building trust and driving progress. These two priorities are the foundation of our government, strategy that lie in the Greece 2.0 National Recovery and Resilience Plan. Trust is the cornerstone of effective governance. Recognizing this and aiming to strengthen even more the ties between the citizens and the state, Greece has undertaken major institutional reforms, including the executive state, to improve coordination, ensure transparency, and increase the efficiency of public services. Equally, we recognize the pivotal role of women leaders in shaping inclusive and effective governance. Women bring unique perspectives to decision-making, promote collaboration, and strengthen accountability, qualities essential for rebuilding trust in institutions and driving sustainable progress across all sectors of society. Progress requires tangible results. Through Greece 2.0, we are investing in digital transformation, renewable energy, and structural reforms that make us competitive. Our objectives are clear: to achieve strong and sustainable economic growth, to create about 200,000 new jobs, and to modernize our institutions in a way that benefits all citizens, and to keep challenges central to our agenda. Only by addressing challenges can we secure lasting progress and stronger democracy. Greece is committed to international cooperation, to sharing best practices, and to learning from the valuable experience of our partners here today. Together, we can advance governance that is transparent, resilient, and accountable to all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And we go further away from Europe as we call on our very relentless ambassador of WPL from Philippines, House of Representatives, Maria Rachel Arenas.
Honorable Vice President, distinguished colleagues, trust is a steadfast promise that government will be a reliable hand, attentive and present in every corner of our archipelago. It is felt in communities where public servants do not simply govern, but walk alongside the people, where laws protect the vulnerable, and where the voice of every citizen resonates in the halls of power. Trust is earned through action, nurtured in consistency, and strengthened when democracy is experienced not as an abstraction, but as a system that protects, ensures justice, and inspires hope, ensuring that growth does not belong to the privileged few, but reaches the farmers, the workers, the mothers and the daughters, whose dreams are often left at the margins. Restoring dignity, opening opportunities, and lives safer and freer, that is progress. Women leaders in the Philippines are at the heart of this journey. In Congress, we have outlawed child marriage, expanded protections for solo parents, shielded the vulnerable from human trafficking, and strengthened laws safeguarding our national security. These achievements are living proof that women's leadership turns principles into action and promises into reality. Our work bears fruit. The World Economic Forum's Global Gender Gap Report 2025 ranks the Philippines 20th among 148 nations. To lead as women is to carry both wounds and wisdom, to transform struggle into strength, and to prove that governance is not about the preservation of power, but serving the will of the people, and reaching even the remotest communities until every citizen has the confidence that their government is not their master, but their servant. To this summit, I bring the gratitude of the Philippines. To the women political leaders, your courage widens the path, your voices strengthen representation, and your solidarity ensures that every woman and girl is assured that they rise, they will lead and shape their future and make a difference. Thank you very much. Mabuhay. God bless us all.
Thank you very much. Our dear friend Rochelle, it takes a woman to say that government is not a master, but a servant. That's deep. All right, so we're going to go to Belgium. The WPL is located in Brussels, and 2 years ago, the people of Belgium welcomed us to a very significant summit that we had. And so today, we're going to call on Anne Person to take the floor for Belgium. Anne, where are you? Oh, I saw it, okay.
Chers collègues parlementaires, chers membres de Women Political Leaders, alors la confiance des citoyens dans leurs institutions, dans la démocratie et dans l'économie, elle est essentielle, on le sait, au bon fonctionnement d'une société. Alors moi je suis députée mais aussi conseillère communale dans une petite ville et je constate chaque jour à quel point cette confiance elle est cruciale mais elle est aussi très fragile. Des enquêtes récentes montrent que cette confiance, eh bien, elle est mise à mal chez de nombreux Belges. Une part importante de la population déclare avoir peu ou moyennement confiance dans le Parlement et dans notre gouvernement. Alors, à l'échelon local, par contre, la situation, elle est bien meilleure. De nombreux Belges déclarent faire davantage confiance à leur bourgmestre, à leur échevin ou à leur administration locale, plutôt qu'à la politique nationale. C'est une leçon importante. La proximité, elle paie. Les citoyens font confiance à ceux qu'ils connaissent, qu'ils voient, qu'ils peuvent interpeller au quotidien. Alors pourquoi est-ce différent au niveau national? Bien, selon les politologues, il y a plusieurs raisons. En Belgique, la complexité des institutions n'aide pas. On a 3 régions, on a 3 communautés, on a 6 gouvernements. Alors en Belgique aussi, les négociations pour former un gouvernement après des élections, elles peuvent être très longues. Le record, c'est 541 jours. Donc oui, en 2011, après les élections, il a fallu 541 jours pour former une coalition. Et donc, ça a laissé un goût amer chez les citoyens. Et tout ça et d'autres facteurs aussi fait que notre système démocratique aujourd'hui il est menacé. Des épisodes semblables font grandir le risque de plus en plus de personnes soient séduites par une rhétorique populiste ou se détournent complètement de la politique. Alors au-delà de ces constats, on est bien d'accord, il faut agir et je peux quand même me réjouir parce que différents parlements belges, ils ont pris des initiatives ces dernières années, des mesures concrètes pour essayer de réduire l'écart entre les politiques et les citoyens. Alors, je vais simplement partager 2 initiatives prises par le Parlement belge. Premièrement, la réforme du droit de pétition. Donc, depuis 2019, les citoyens peuvent eux-mêmes mettre des sujets à l'agenda politique. Lorsqu'une initiative recueille au moins 25 000 signatures, eh bien, elle obtient le droit d'être entendue par la commission qui est compétente au Parlement. Et la pétition est accessible par les signataires via une plateforme numérique sur le site lui-même du Parlement, donc c'est très simple d'utilisation. Alors deuxièmement, depuis 2024, donc c'est encore assez récent, le règlement du Parlement fédéral belge permet la création de commissions mixtes composées de parlementaires et de citoyens, ainsi que de panels de citoyens. Alors ce système, eh bien, il offre aux Belges la possibilité de débattre directement avec les élus sur certains sujets et de formuler ensemble des recommandations. Le mécanisme existe bel et bien, mais à ce jour, aucune commission mixte n'a encore été organisée au Parlement fédéral. Par contre, à Bruxelles, le système est plus avancé. Entre 2020 et 2024, il y a eu 6 commissions mixtes qui sont organisées sur des sujets tels que le sans-abrisme, le déploiement de la 5G. Et à la fin de ces commissions, si les parlementaires choisissent de ne pas suivre les recommandations, eh bien, ils doivent vraiment se justifier auprès des citoyens. Je pense qu'on doit saluer ce type d'initiative, impliquer activement les citoyens dans le processus politique, leur permettre de contribuer à l'élaboration des politiques publiques, c'est vraiment essentiel. Plus les citoyens se sentent concernés par les décisions, plus l'adhésion est grande et plus la confiance dans le processus démocratique est renforcée. Et donc, investir dans la proximité, la participation et la transparence, c'est faire gagner la démocratie.
Thank you so very much, Anne. And now we're going to Turkey. And we're calling on Signum. Where are you? Oh, there you go. Pardon? Shida. I really was off the mark completely. Shidam. I am so sorry about that. Shidam Erdogan.
Thanks so much. Ahead. Dear colleagues, the presence of female political leaders in high-level positions inspires young girls and women, encouraging their participation in politics and social life. This reinforces the sense of equality and justice in society, contributing to social progress in the long term. In the sense in Turkey, especially in the last 22 years, many reforms have been made the constitutional and legal levels to establish equal opportunities for women and men. Strengthen the position of women in society and protect women's rights. In this context, significant developments have taken place in many areas, such as increasing the number of women in decision-making mechanism, women's participation in the workforce, and employment and social security support. Indeed, the social transformation that have taken place in our country confirm these developments. Today, the percentage of female students in universities has surpassed that of male students, reaching 53%. The percentage of women in academia has reached 47%, the highest level in our history. When discussing gender inequality and prejudice, we are currently talking about combating cyber violence and gender-sensitive artificial intelligence. We are discussing ensuring that data on digital platforms is unbiased and that algorithms are developed with gender awareness. As CAFEC, we have carried out work in various formats on national and international platforms to encourage women's leadership and participation in politics in Turkey, and to identify legal and administrative measures to be taken for women's participation in political life. We will continue to fight tirelessly to provide women with equal opportunities and to enable them to make free choices. Dear guests, as Turkish Parliament, we have always displayed a principled, human and inclusive stance in the face of humanitarian crises around the world. We didn't abandon the women and children in the shadow of war. For the reason we once again condemn the genocide of the Palestinian people. 55,000 people were killed. We wish and invite all of us to raise our voice. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to WPL for the invitation and to the government of Montenegro for hosting this event. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shidam. Thank you. And now we're going to go back to my continent and to a country that we all, as women, proudly used to stir the jealousy of our own leaders in saying to them that Rwanda is one of the top countries with the largest number of women represented in politics. And so I am calling on the Vice President of the Rwandan Senate, Esperance Safari, to please take the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the women political leadership and the Parliament of Montenegro for organizing this important summit. After the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, Rwanda was close to a failed state. The trust in leadership was broken. However, with a visionary leadership, Rwanda committed to being resilient, rebuilding trust among its people, and working toward a better future. Today, Rwanda is a country that is increasingly developing. The life expectancy, for example, has increased significantly, reaching 69.6 years by 2022 from only 29 years in 1994. Excellencies, in Rwanda, the governance is inclusive. No one is left behind. In particular, women are actively participating in the leadership and development of Rwanda. Today, Rwanda has the highest rate of women in parliament worldwide with 61% seats. The involvement, thank you. The involvement of women goes beyond numbers. It is demonstrated through real and impactful actions. In private sector, women own and operate large businesses that contribute significantly to the country's economy. Women entrepreneurs are breaking barriers and challenging traditional norms, proving that success in business is not limited by gender. In rural communities, women are driving change through agriculture, healthcare initiatives, and education. In fact, through policies, legal and institutional frameworks, Rwanda has turned trust into a foundation for progress and unity. Dear colleagues, Rwanda will remain resolute in its commitment to promoting and empowering women in all sectors. I thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice President of the Parliament of Rwanda. We want to just check that our sister from Luxembourg, did you come? No. No, okay. So the last but not the least is Parliamentary Assembly of the Mediterranean Women Parliamentary Forum, represented by Tuba Dogot. Are you here? Excellent. Please take the floor.
Excellencies, honorable delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor to represent the Parliamentary Assembly of the Mediterranean as Vice President of the PAM Women Parliamentary Forum. I thank women political leaders for the invitation and the Parliament of Montenegro for hosting this important gathering. Trust in public and multilateral institutions is the foundation of our democratic legitimacy. It enables citizens to believe in their institutions, children to grow up without fear, and women to live free from violence. Yet today, this trust is eroding, threatening cohesion and progress. Rebuilding trust requires inclusive leadership, equal representation, and a reinforced protection of women's rights. Women still face disproportionate harassment, exclusion, and violence both online and offline. Advances in technology have multiplied intimidation and disinformation, undermining not only human rights but also the very fabric of our societies. Turkey is committed to equality-sensitive decision-making and inclusive governance. One of the main goals of our strategy document and action plan for women's empowerment is to increase women's participation in leadership and decision-making mechanisms. We prioritize equal access for women to education, health, economy, and leadership, while strengthening legal guarantees of equality and adopting zero tolerance toward discrimination and violence. But trust cannot flourish in a world where conflict continues to target the most vulnerable. Our conscience is further tested by wars that devastate women and children. In Gaza, nearly 70% of the victims of the ongoing genocide are women and children. Mothers give birth without medicine or anesthesia, and Gaza now has the highest number of child amputees in the modern history. Every day of silence costs more innocent lives. As women leaders, we cannot remain passive. We must raise our voices for Gaza, for Ukraine, for Yemen, and for Sudan, where women and children continue to suffer under conflict. PAM stands ready to work hand in hand with all partners to rebuild trust, protect women's rights, and build a more just, inclusive, and peaceful world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now I'm going to yield the seat back to the Vice President of the Montenegro Parliament to sign us out of this session. You have been immensely wonderful in representing your countries. Thank you, and see you next year in another parliament. Okay.
Uvažene koleginice i kolege, uvaženi prijatelji, uvažena gospođa Silvana Koh-Mehrin, prije svega dugujem vam ogromnu zahvalnost zbog toga što ste došli u Crnu Goru, što ste možda prvi put u Crnoj Gori, što ćete biti u prilici da razmijenite mišljenja i na ovim vrlo značajnim panelima, a i sutra tokom panela koji su također značajni za Crnu Goru, a tiču se kulture, turizma, da ćete istovremeno biti u prilici da upoznate makar dijelić ljepota Crne Gore i da će to biti prilika da se ipak odlučite da naredne godine promovišete Crnu Goru u vašoj zemlji, u vašim zemljama, da negdje raznim kanalima negdje ukažete koliko je Crna Gora lijepa, koliko su ljudi gostoprimljivi, koliko je lijepa hrana i koliko su lijepi ljudi. Ja vam se zahvaljujem. Ovo su bile nacionalne izjave koje su bile prijavljene za danas. Sa ovim zaključujem današnju sjednicu. Hvala još jednom i nadam se brzom viđenju. Hvala.
It's not talk? Yes. So we're leaving.